Hello, my name is Pam. I've been asked to talk about a recent illness that I had, which was very, very unpleasant and quite upsetting. I felt perfectly well, and I went to bed fine, and within 10 minutes I went so cold, and then I started to shake. And I didn't shiver, I actually shook for a long, long time. And then I started vomiting. And then I was just so weak. I tried to get out of bed. I couldn't stand, I couldn't walk. Very distressing. And then eventually I fell asleep. And I slept for most of the following day. And then the following night, I had a very, very bad night, and I felt so poorly. And the next day, my husband said, I'm not happy with this. And we had heard about the rapid response nurses. And so my husband went to the surgery, and he said to the receptionist, you know, is it possible to have one of those rapid response nurses? My wife is so poorly, and she can't come here. And she made a phone call straight away, and he came back home, and Emma was here within less than an hour. I mean, when the doorbell went, I thought, I don't believe, you know, I heard the doorbell, I don't believe she's here. And she came in, and she was so lovely. She had such a lovely, sunny personality, and she was efficient. And she was there, and she took, you know, getting everything prepared, took my temperature, and she put the thing on my finger, which I didn't know what it was, but it's obviously to measure blood oxygen levels, that's right. And then she said to me, she listened to my chest and my back, and she was saying, I don't like this wheezing. And she said, just show me how you use your inhaler. And so I got my inhaler. Well, if I'm upstairs and I use it, I usually use my spacer, because then I know I get a whole lot. So I used my spacer and did it. And then she said, I want you to do that 9 more times. And so we were counting up, you know, 5 breaths each time. And then I kept saying, have I got any more to do? Yes, you have, she said. And then I finished, and she said, I wanted you to do that to help open up your airways and try and get your breathing a little bit better. And she said, but it might take a few minutes. And she kept checking on me and saying, is it feeling better now? And I was saying, yes, it has eased off. And anyway, she arranged for a hospital at home nurse to come from West Park Hospital. She came the following day and did all the checks on me. And then Emma came back on Friday and said, I want a sputum sample. And fortunately, I was able to provide one. That was sent off. And then I was looked after by the hospital at home nurses at the weekend. And they were so nice. They were just so kind. And when you're poorly, that's all you want. Somebody who is, you know, sort of, you don't want to be babied, but you just want that little bit of care, you know. And anyway, Emma came back the following Wednesday, and she said, I'm afraid, they had given me antibiotics then. Anyway, she came on the following Wednesday, and she said, oh, sorry, you've got to have these antibiotics now. And I said, oh, why, what is it? And she said, you've got Pseudomonas aggregatus something or other. And I said, I've never heard of it, you know. And she says, it isn't very nice. And she says, that's why it's taken a long time for your result to come through. She says, I thought there was something wrong because your result took a long time. Anyway, I had the ciprofloxacin, called, and I continued having the hospital Emma signed me off from her care then, and then I had the hospital at home nurses after that for 2 weeks, and they were so good, and always there to answer your questions and that, and I started to pick up quite quickly then, and then they referred me to the community matrons, and their service is absolutely fantastic too. And it's lovely because when I was first diagnosed, because I have bronchiectasis, when I was first diagnosed, I didn't really understand what it was about or anything like that. And it's all been explained to me now. And if I feel ill, I can send a sputum sample, I can phone the community matrons, and they will phone me up and let me know how I am. If it's not good, they can say, you know, you need to take either one lot of antibiotics or another, and it helps me to feel a little bit more confident about myself, because I don't feel quite so much on my own. Because I think if you have a condition, you sometimes feel a little bit on your own, because especially if you don't know anyone else who's got it. And so it's just, I've just found everything so good. And I've told everyone about it. And I really have. And I just can't say enough. It's just absolutely brilliant.